Just ahead on CTV News. It's been 5 years since the attack on the U.S. Capitol following the 2020 presidential election.
It does feel like it was yesterday because of the fact that it was such a traumatic experience. I mean, like I said, I thought I was going to lose my life.
And find out why a Maryland lawmaker is calling for another impeachment of President Donald Trump. Plus,
a person linked to random shootings over the weekend has now been arrested. I'll have those details coming up.
These stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for January 6th. I'm Jonathan Hunter.
And I'm Anaya Falcon. Thanks so much for joining us. Today marks 5 years since the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, when a mob stormed the building to try to stop certification of the 2020 election. Thousands of President Trump supporters overran police, using objects and chemical sprays to assault officers. Inside, lawmakers took cover as the Capitol was breached. 9 people died in connection with the riot, and more than 140 law enforcement officers were injured. More than 1,500 people were charged, and President Trump pardoned all of them after returning to the White House earlier this year. Today, former Proud Boys leaders and other defendants marched to the Capitol, while some Prince George's community residents planned counter-protests today.
The insurrectionists that were pardoned are actually taking a victory lap today in D.C., walking from the ellipse, following their path to the Capitol. So that felt like something we couldn't allow to happen without basically saying that's not what happened. We all saw it with our own eyes. You're traitors to the country, not patriots. Not heroes.
The idea that it did happen here and that people now are memorializing it and celebrating it rather than using it as a moment to reflect on how we got to this place, then it just definitely is one of the reasons why I'm here today.
And that is really intimidating to a young person, and so it's our responsibility as adults with fully developed brains to show up in these spaces.
It was absolutely crazy. I was there. I was in one of the Senate office buildings, scared to death. And I didn't know I was going to make it out alive. I didn't know what to expect. So, I mean, the fact that he pardoned those people, it doesn't make... But I understand why he did it, because that's his base. Yeah, it makes sense if you look at it politically. But, yeah, it shouldn't go down like that. He shouldn't have pardoned those people.
The Capitol riots, it was, well, the person that's in there shouldn't be in there because of what happened. And nobody was held accountable for what they actually did, their actions. Certain laws go for certain people, and then laws don't go for others.
We will keep you updated on the latest developments of the march to the Capitol today if more information becomes available.
One Maryland lawmaker is calling for the impeachment of President Donald Trump over his decision to arrest Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Congresswoman April McClain Delaney says she cannot stand by as her Republican colleagues allow Trump to defy the rule of law. Several Democrats have criticized the president, but few say it was an impeachable offense. Maduro and his wife Celia Flores were arrested for federal drug trafficking. The two pled not guilty, are being held in a detention center in Brooklyn. Walla Blagay is now officially an at-large Prince George's County councilwoman. She was sworn in yesterday afternoon in a packed council chamber. Since 2022, she has served as a council member for District 6. Blagay says she wants to continue the work she started now that she is representing the entire county. Since being in office, she has focused on several issues, including improving wait times in the ER, rent stabilization, and working to lower energy bills.
I
am so excited. I've been doing the work for years, to be honest, and just to know that people can see that. The room here just shows the work that I've done and how dedicated I've been on all the issues. So I'm ready to hit the ground running. Like I told people, later on this month, we're going to be in Brandywine talking about electricity. We're going to head right up the Beltway up to District 1. We're going to go all over the county, and we're heading to Bowie in February. So we're going to be busy.
And currently 23 applicants have put their names on the record looking to fill the now vacant District 6 seat. One man is behind bars after a gunfight erupted at a banquet hall that claimed the lives of 3 people. The suspect on your screen is 39-year-old Antonio Lancaster. He's being charged with first and second-degree murder. Prince George's County Police say the shooting took place early Saturday morning outside Irving's in Marlow Heights. Lancaster is accused of killing 27-year-old Ronez Proctor of Waldorf. Police say Pierre Davis and Kevon Williams were also killed, but believe those two killed each other in the gunfight.
To lose lives, especially young lives, and the events surrounding the triple homicide are unbelievably sad. And so while our job, and we will absolutely focus on getting justice, and we believe we will achieve justice, we also mourn for the families, all of them, who have lost someone.
Lancaster was arrested in Fairfax County. Police believe the men involved in the gunfight may have known each other since they were attending a private party. The county closed the banquet hall because of the lack of security.
And just one day after that shooting, a person of interest involved in random shootings on Sunday was arrested.
Our Michaela Newton reports from Upper Marlboro.
On Sunday, officers responded here to Watkins Park Place for a report of an unresponsive man. Then, later that same day, less than a mile away, officers were notified of a shooting on Darlington Street. Officials now say the person linked to these random shootings has now been arrested. On Sunday morning, officers responded to the area of Watkins Park Plaza, where they found 65-year-old Joseph Holt III in his car unresponsive after being shot. He died at the scene. Then, not even a mile away later that night, officers were notified of a shooting in the 1200 block of Darlington Street. Another adult male had been shot in his vehicle. Officers then located a second victim inside of her vehicle on Campbellton Drive. A third person in the area had been shot at while in their car but was not hit. Police Chief George Nader spoke during a press conference yesterday.
They were all 3 unrelated to one another. We don't think it was a DC sniper type incident, but we do believe one individual was responsible for all of those shootings. The motive behind it, we're still looking at. We're looking at that there may be robberies, but there may be some other significance that comes up with this individual as we explore a little bit more into their history.
Officials say they located 26-year-old DeMonte Marcel Williams as a person of interest and took him into custody. A weapon was also recovered, which has now been linked to the fatal shooting of Holt earlier in the day. The second male shooting victim is in stable condition. The female victim is in critical but stable condition.
In the homicide that occurred and shootings that occurred on January 4th, we will continue to assist our police partners in every way possible to make sure that the appropriate person is charged.
Michaela Newton, CTV News.
Thanks, Michaela, for that story. Williams is currently being held without bond.
If you have any information on this case, contact Crime Solvers by calling 1-866-411-TIPS.
Governor Moore and the largest state union have failed to reach a contract agreement by the December 31st deadline. Every year, AFSCME, which represents 26,000 workers, is responsible for negotiating a contract with the state. The contract largely addresses pay increases and cost of living adjustments, but AFSCME officials say the governor's final proposal continues to lag behind the rate of inflation. The governor's office confirmed an agreement hasn't been reached, but they would not comment further on the situation.
Well, if you haven't gotten your flu shot yet, listen up. Maryland health officials are warning of flu surge as hospitalizations rise statewide. According to the Maryland Combined Respiratory Illness Dashboard, more than 1,900 people with lab-confirmed flu have been hospitalized since September. State health data shows this flu season is surging earlier and faster than last year. Last flu season, more than 8,000 Marylanders were hospitalized with lab-confirmed flu. And the CDC announced yesterday that they will be changing the childhood immunization schedule by splitting the required number of vaccines into 3 categories and dropping the total number from 17 to 11. Some of the ones no longer universally recommended included flu, RSV, and COVID. Maryland Health Secretary shared in a statement that Maryland will, quote, continue to follow the guidance of the American Academy of Pediatrics, which is based on decades of science and evidence-based recommendations. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Anaya Falcon.
And I'm Jonathan Hunter. Still to come. If you've been procrastinating with taking down your Christmas tree, listen up.
The county's Department of the Environment wants to help. Find out how after the break.
You gotta believe without seeing. You gotta keep going, keep breathing. When you face a day it feels like you're gonna break. You gotta believe without seeing. You gotta keep going, keep breathing. When you face a day that feels like you're gonna break. So lean on the ones that love you, the guardian angels above you, and think about when peace just another color. Ooh, just another color. Just another color.
Welcome back. A generational fight is brewing inside Maryland's Democratic Party. Young Democrats are taking on the party's old guard, challenging long-term incumbents Steny Hoyer and Kwesi Mfume in primaries that could reshape the state's political future. The challenges say voters want fresh leadership and a sharper focus on affordability, housing, and health care. Hoyer, now 86, has represented Maryland's 5th district for more than 40 years, while Mfume has served the 7th district for about 14.
Maryland House of Delegates Speaker Jocelyn Pena-Melnick is shaking up the House with some new changes. Former Delegate Heather Mazur is joining the Speaker's office as Director of Communication, tasked with shaping how the House speaks to the public. Committee assignments have been reshuffled, and new members have been named to the House Study Group on Economic Stability. And for the first time ever, a former rural caucus is being created aimed at giving Western Maryland, the Eastern Shore, and Southern Maryland a stronger voice at the leadership table. And in less than 2 months, the county's Democratic Central Committee has now voted to fill 3 vacant seats before the start of the new session. In a unanimous vote yesterday, Derek Coley was picked for the District 24 seat. He previously served as the Deputy Director in the county's Department of the Environment. He replaces former Delegate Jazz Lewis, who recently resigned. This seat will be up for grabs again during the June primary elections. The filing deadline is February 24th at 9 p.m.
And more data center regulations could soon be headed to Maryland this year. State lawmakers are moving to fill a gap in state rules as big data centers push into Maryland without a cohesive statewide policy. Advocates say count-by-county zoning decisions can impact the entire state, especially when these facilities require massive electricity and new power lines. Legislators are expected to debate bills that would give the Public Service Commission new authority, including certificates to operate and steps to curb power use during peak demand. And meanwhile, federal regulators are asking for clearer rules on how massive data centers plug into the power grid. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission unanimously ordered PJM, the grid operator, to revise its policies on how data centers and other large power users connect directly to generators. FERC says clear standards are needed as electricity demand surges and to provide more certainty for investors and consumers. PJM must now propose options for how those large facilities interact with the grid, including power generated on-site at data centers.
The Maryland Car Rally Task Force is
And the Maryland Car Reading Task Force is back and busy. This past weekend alone, they dismantled 4 car rallies, prevented 3 and arrested 4 individuals involved, 2 of which were 17-year-old males from Silver Spring. The operation took place Friday night and focused on roadways, industrial zones, and parking lots in Howard, Montgomery, and Prince George's counties. One exhibition took place in Capitol Heights, with 2 almost happening in Hyattsville, one in Beltsville, and another in Upper Marlboro.
And if you still have your Christmas live tree up, the Prince George's County Department of Environment wants you to consider composting. From now until Monday, January 26th, people can partake in curbside collection of live Christmas trees. Trees must be undecorated and unbagged. You may also drop off live trees at the Brown Station Road Public Container Pad and Recycling Center in Upper Marlboro. This initiative helps to reduce landfill waste while simultaneously protecting the environment. Still to come on CTV News, whether you want to run a marathon or just look good on your summer vacation, everywhere you turn, there's a new way to lose some weight.
Yes, but before you reach for the Ozempic, Dr. Stephanie Hack is back to discuss the pros and the cons of trendy weight loss drugs. Stay with us.
We are women first, but women with disabilities last.
During a military exercise, we crashed and I broke my neck.
When I was in the Air Force, an accident changed my life. I couldn't have imagined the injustices I would face.
Every day, women like me go to the doctor for annual checkups for conditions like breast cancer. Early detection saved my life. But women with disabilities face a cruel reality: inaccessible medical facilities and equipment.
In the 25 years since my injury, I have not seen a gynecologist. There's not one accessible OBGYN in my community.
I found lumps in my breast. I went to a doctor's office I was told was accessible, but when I got there, I couldn't get through the front door.
I don't know where I'd be today without access to testing. Our veterans deserve better. Help PVA fight for access at pva.org.
If words were enough, I would help you bear your burden. I would watch each child of yours grow strong and true. Teach them to read and to write and to sing, so that their voices be forgotten nevermore. If words were enough, I would sate your hunger, and you would know you are my sister, my brother, my child. If words were enough.
It's so hard to predict a sick kid who just keep getting sicker, but we needed to be together as a family. My family is my entire life. My family means the world to me.
When we're together and we have support from Ronald McDonald House, we can be a little stronger. They provide food and a place to rest your head, and they will help you through every step. That's what gets you through every day when you don't know how else you're gonna make it.
It makes you feel like you're not alone.
Welcome back. With a new year comes new resolutions and new methods to reach your weight loss goals.
Many of you may have heard of these new viral weight loss injectable medications like Wegovy and Ozempic. Well, now the GLP-1 medication is available in a pill. Returning today to discuss these popular weight loss drugs and the pros and cons of using them is Dr. Stephanie Hack. Dr. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So let's jump right in. So how do GLP-1 medications help people to lose weight?
So GLP-1 medications mimic a hormone that our body already makes. It's called glucagon-like protein. And it works by helping regulate our blood sugar by controlling our insulin levels. And then also it slows how quickly food leaves our stomach and goes into our intestines. It decreases our appetite. You feel full, faster and you stay full longer. So those are some of the ways it works.
And talk about some of the pros and cons of taking this weight loss drug opposed to, the old-fashioned way of dieting and exercising.
It is going to provide guaranteed weight loss. We recommend that you're working out at the same time and not just taking the medication, but people can really lose a substantial amount of weight while using the medication.
And GLP-1 or similar medications have been on the market for over a decade to treat type 2 diabetes. So does this set a precedent for using medications for things other than its intended use?
That is a great question. And this is actually something that happens commonly with medications that we use. So when they first started the GLP-1 medications, as you mentioned, it was for diabetes, but then they saw, oh wow, there's this unintended but amazing side effect where people are losing a lot of weight and experiencing these benefits. There was a similar scenario with a lash serum that they discovered originally it was for glaucoma. And then they discovered, oh, it helps people's lashes grow. So really the important thing is that we have high evidence that the medication works for a specific reason, because this is really a common way that we discover new medications.
And then how do these weight loss medications affect things like blood pressure, hormone, and body mass index?
The more weight you gain, the more stress is put on your heart. So by losing weight related to the medications, you're going to be putting less stress on your heart. You'll see an improvement in your cardiovascular risk. Also, you'll see a decrease in your blood pressure. In addition, because it's going to affect your total body weight, your BMI should decrease. And then there are some not directly related hormonal benefits, but some indirectly related hormonal benefits. So hormonal conditions in women like PCOS that are related to insulin resistance and elevated weight, you're going to see some improvement there as well.
And you mentioned hormones there. I just want to ask you, for pregnant women or for women that are breastfeeding, is this something that's acceptable?
No, it is not recommended for breastfeeding at this time. And then if you are taking a GLP-1 medication, it's recommended that you stop taking it at least 2 months before you plan to get pregnant.
And then let's say a man or a woman is interested in taking these medications online. What are some things they should look into?
You want to buy from a state-licensed pharmacy. As we know, when something becomes viral, there are multiple opportunities to make money. Well, you want to make sure that you're not getting illegal medications, because they may be selling you something that isn't the actual medication and won't have the intended effect and could be dangerous.
And now that Wegovy is available in pill format, will it also be cheaper or more accessible for people who need it?
It depends on your insurance coverage. It may be more accessible. I mean, there's some other benefits in the pill versus the injection. For example, the pill doesn't have to be refrigerated. The injection has to be refrigerated. So those things might make it less expensive, but it just depends on your insurance coverage.
And this will be our last question. And let's say someone is taking this medication, they're taking the pill, and they're starting to see results. What should they do to really keep it up?
So you want to make sure that whatever diet and exercise, whatever lifestyle changes that you've initiated while taking the medication, that it's something that you can maintain. I know sometimes we get very excited about our new weight loss plans and activities and diet, but it needs to be something that you can continue, whether you have little kids or whether you have a busy job, because the maintenance is going to be key for preventing that weight return when you stop the medication.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Stephanie. It's a pleasure to see you in the new year.
Always great to be here.
Yes. For more information on women's health and Dr. Hack's podcast, visit ladypartsdoctor.com. And it's now time for our Tuesday sports page, and I hear the playoffs are fast approaching.
That's right, and then here we have a big shakeup with the Commanders. Stay tuned to find out right after the break.
You've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You have to carefully monitor your health for the rest of your life, and you have an increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease.
Cut. Type 2, take 2.
Action. You've been diagnosed with a new purpose: to fight for the amazing life you made for yourself, to look that risk of heart disease square in the face and say, no, not me. You've been given a new opportunity to live. Get started at NoDiabetesByHeart.org.
And it's now time for our Tuesday sports page. The Washington Commanders season came to an end on Sunday following a win over the Philadelphia Eagles.
And the organization wasted no time making changes to its coaching staff. The team fired second-year defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr. after coaching one of the league's worst defenses, which allowed the most total yards in the NFL. Also, offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury and the Commanders have agreed to mutually part ways as Cliff is in pursuit of other opportunities.
The Commanders will now take some time during the offseason to self-reflect and look for ways to improve so they can make the NFC Championship game again.
Eval, every player, to a person should be doing that. I know I'm going to be doing that, and I know all the guys in here are going to be doing that. Throughout the offseason, seeing, breaking down my own tape, what are some things that I can get better at? What are some small things that I can start implementing in my game now? So, that's what it's about.
And I think the first thing you do as an off-season begins is, where do you improve internally? And the players, that's why we do it. We find out a lot from them, what we can do better, how we can do things differently. You go through that with players and coaches. We meet with free agents. So there's a lot of internal work that you have to do first, kind of point the mirror at yourself. We'll meet with the players, and we call those exit interviews. And so it's not just like, hey, good luck, see you in the off-season. We try to be mindful of, what are some things that went well, what are some things we need to do differently. And through the years, I've learned a lot from players. And in fact, most of the really, really important things have been from them. And so I want to listen and then take all the information in and then systematically, put it together.
And it's that time. The NFL playoffs start this Saturday with Wild Card Weekend as the Los Angeles Rams head to Bank of America Stadium to take on the Carolina Panthers at 4:30 p.m. And the Green Bay Packers head to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears at 8 p.m. Wild Card Weekend continues on Sunday as the Jaguars take on the Bills, 49ers take on the Eagles, and the Chargers take on the Patriots. And to close it out, the Texans will face the Steelers on Monday night. And now in hockey news, after the Anaheim Ducks prevailed over the Capitals in a shootout back in December, the Capitals got their revenge yesterday as they defeated the Ducks 7-4. Congratulations to rookie Justin Sordiff, who scored the first career hat-trick, or his career hat-trick rather. Justin is the 9th Capital rookie to score a hat-trick, the first since Ovechkin on January 13th, 2006, which also happened to be against the Ducks.
And the Washington Wizards are back on the court, looking to get back into the win column as they take on the Orlando Magic tonight. They are looking to bounce back after a tough loss on Sunday against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And Anaya, we all know that football playoffs are here. You and I, both from the Baltimore area, we are always going to root for the Baltimore Ravens.
Always.
Our team, unfortunately, is not in the playoffs. So what team are you going to root for since our beloved Ravens aren't there?
The Green Bay Packers.
You really had to say that.
I had to say it.
Our boss is a Packers fan.
Yeah, it's just my boss, that's all.
But, I'm actually going to root for the Chicago Bears because Caleb Williams, their quarterback, is from the D.C. area. So I'm definitely thinking he's going to have a great playoffs this year.
Okay, I'm going to go with being a teacher's pet.
All
Thanks,
right.
Jonathan.
Now we're going to take a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight will be mostly cloudy out. Tomorrow will be mostly sunny with a high of 57. Thursday is going to be 53 degrees and mostly sunny with some rain later in the night. Friday to kick off the weekend, it'll be 65 degrees, but we have a 50 to 70% chance of rain.
And for our community calendar, it's a new year, and if you think there's not enough time to work out, think again. Tomorrow at 12:30, join the Spalding's Branch Library for an energizing, quick sweat Zumba dance class. Energy and enjoy lively music with easy moves that will lift your spirits and help burn calories at the same time. For more information, contact the branch manager at 301-817-3750. And that's a wrap for CTV News for now. Thank you so much for joining us.
We're going to see you again tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.